Wonderful morning to you out there. It's really great to have you join us again on the Break It On Papers review here on your Love to Die 32 FM 94.9. And of course, my name is GBOLABO Famous School. We have a couple of papers this morning to look at in terms of front pages. We have the Punch newspaper, the Guardian, Nigerian Tribune, and a host of other papers here for review. It's the Break It On Papers review from your Love to Die 32 FM 94.9, and taking headlines from the Punch newspaper this morning. And this talks about convention. It says convention for PDP governor storm Ibadan as INEC signals boycott. Sexual allegations, police urge to probe suspended Paystar co-founder. Abuja face-off, Wike allies, military veterans defer over calls for sanctions. I was once homeless in U.S. Nigerian-American politician, actor Babai Jesha released from prison. Regina Daniels, hospital disowns drug test result as family feud continues. Indian deports Nigerian over visa violation drug peddling. I'm all here on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. NSCDC moves to end vandalism in Edo. Police kill suspected bandit. Recover AK-49 rifle in Kwara. Anambra arrests 7 illegal revenue collectors. PDP convention. Police tighten security in Ibadan. And this says video. Lagos cracks down on street begging. Arrests 15 beggars. Still here on the front page of the Punch newspaper. More stories. Emergency rule. Rivers court dismisses suit against Tinubu. Lamido denies withdrawing case against PDP. Accord Party NWC rejects chairman suspension 2027. NNPP chair urges Ogundotas to use PVCs for change. And still here on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, this says for Nigerian wrestlers resist Islamic games. Eagles coach deserves praise. Adepoju speaking there. All of those are some of the headlines here out of the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. All right, a quick dive. Let's look at a Nation newspaper as well. And here on the Nation newspaper front page, Fubara orders boycott as PDP faction holds convention. I'm more here on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. We ride with criminals to court. Magistrate cry out. And this says Paystar suspend co-founder over sexual misconduct allegations. We ride with criminals taking earlier. FCTA officials admit dragging Wike into confrontation over disputed Abuja land. Obiano on that rumors, I'm alive, hale and hearty. Wike to waste cleaning contractors, I will revoke your contracts. All right, there is an if there. I'm more here, still here on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Tinubu hails fire shays courage, political resilience at 65. Delegates arrive Ibadan for PDP convention. Ex-Anambra Governor Obiano breaks silence on rumor that Oyebande resigns as Niwa boss. PDP convention must not hold. Court has spoken. Litigants won. PDP crisis deepens as party's leaders reject panel's call to hold national convention. And this says Ibadan 2025 Oyo Police expresses readiness for heat-free PDP convention. All of those are some of the headlines there out of the Nation newspaper this morning. We also take a look at the cable engine. There are a couple of headlines too here on the front page here of the news engine. Sule Lamido, I went to court to reclaim my rights not to fight PDP. And this one says CPJ, Nigerian journalist still faced arrest despite Cybercrime Act reforms. Confusion as court again orders PDP to proceed with national convention. Sule Lamido denies withdrawing suit challenging exclusion from PDP chairmanship race. And this says Wabara-backed PDP BOT panel recommends suspension of convention. AP's domestic flight disrupted over unlawful aircraft withdrawal by Lesser. DSS recaptures wanted tourists from 2022 Kuje prison break. And this says misinfo alert, Obiano not dead. Ex-Anambra Governor Helen Artis says former commissioner. FCTA directors apologized to Wike flag ex-naval chief's 18-year-old letter for Abuja land. Court holds PDP convention over Sule Lamido's exclusion from chairmanship race. And more here says 𝐶𝐈 Makinde for President banner surface at PDP National Convention venue. 𝐶𝐈 Makinde for President banner surface at PDP National Convention venue. All of that, some of the headlines out of the cable this morning. All right, so taking headlines is the Break It On Papers review from your Laughter Diet 32 FM 94.9. And on The Guardian, this morning, there are also quite a number of striking headlines. Anambra Guba election, votes were bought with snacks, beverages. That's according to a report. No policeman shall search your phone on the road. That's according to Lagos Commissioner of Police. Abuja clash, I wouldn't have called military personnel a fool, says Wike. Absent in body, present with the Lord, a true reflection. That appears to be a feature here on The Guardian newspaper. And Abdulrazak Zulum grace opening of 217-year-old renovated Ilorin Mosque. Troops arrest 90 terrorists to rescue 53 victims. No impeachment plan against Speaker. Ondo Assembly. World will suffer without fossil fuels. Russia's COP30 negotiators speaking. Ex-Anambra Governor Obiano denies that rumors. 2026 budget, Uba Sani allocates 100 million naira to each of Kaduna 255 political wards. And 𝐒𝐍𝐒, ex-commissioner denies Obiano's death rumors. Or certainty, as ex-Anambra Governor Obiano reportedly dies in London. All right, all of those are some of the headlines here panning out of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And still here on the front page of the Guardian, Bago transmits names of 30 commissioner nominees to Niger Assembly. We will complete Akute Ujoko Road soon. That's according to Abiodun of Ogun State. We also have Uzodima urges Nigerian breweries to reopen 33 brewery in our Omama. Demolition, Lagos compensate more. Oworoshoki resident Yuletide FRSC NUJ partner to change driving culture, reduce crashes. All of those are some of the headlines out of the Guardian newspaper this morning. It's still the Break It On Papers review here on your Laughter Diet 32 FM. And of course, we have Austin Edumi already standing by for us. But before we bring Austin on board, let's take a bit more and we'll look at the Vanguard newspaper a bit and pick out some headlines as well out of the Vanguard this morning. Economy, experts disagree with federal government on performance. And we have PDP convention at risk as BOT report warns of legal structural breakdown. Wike versus Yerima Tinubu intervenes, peace returns over Abuja land dispute. And gunmen abduct ex-PDP chairman in Kwara. Federal government clears 3.9 billion naira pension backlog. PDP convention will go on, body judge says, as it clashes with Wike Lamido. ANEC 2025 dialogue additional urges media to balance terrorism coverage with military successes. Troops arrest major drug supplier to Boko Haram ISWAP terrorist. We will complete Akute Ujoko Road soon. That's according to Abiodun. All right, PDP court adjourns ruling on jurisdiction objection to December 8. Peter Obi and the ethics of refuser. Obiano's rumor that is false. Onokwe Anambra community leader. All of those are some of the headlines here out of the Vanguard newspaper. And of course, Austin is here to do the analysis proper for us. It's great to have you back, Austin Iduma. Good morning. Hello, Austin. Can you hear me?
Thank you for having me.
All right, Austin. I guess we can start off with this PDP convention itself. It appears all hands are on deck for the faction that actually succeeded and pushing ahead with the convention. And of course, already if you go to Lagos Salami Stadium this morning at Damasikwa, you could see that delegates are already arriving, and there's a little bit of slight traffic hiccup, a bit of it, because we have a couple of people by the roadside and vehicles there. And now you also have on the side that there are banners panning out for 𝐂𝐈𝐒 to be the president, campaigning for him to go to the first presidential seat or the first citizenship seat in the country. Now, with all of this, and of course, we still have some smoke in terms of individuals within the PDP who is not agreeing, like the likes of Sule Lamido, who feels that he should be part of the process, and so many other people here. Austin, what do you have to say with the development and PDP convention that is happening today in Ibadan?
Yeah, the PDP convention have been the Adolphus Wabara-led BOT chairman advised the reconciliation committee to suspend the convention. But I think some people have a large stake in that particular convention. Perhaps a lot of resources or investment have gone into the convention. So some people still believe that who did the convention and running into a bigger crisis in the future is better. Of course, that's a party problem. Let's see how it goes. But from the Peter Lifu pronunciation, it suggests that the court has aligned with Sule Lamido that PDP should put the convention on hold until Lamido is properly screened and reintegrated back into the national chairmanship race. Some of these things are things that are very simple that the PDP could do to avert impending and imminent danger. But like I said, those who are on the other side, they have interest. Those who are within, they are also having interest. Every camp is fueling their interest under the guise of the supremacy battle. The last headline you took was that 𝐂𝐈𝐒 banner. I also saw that when I flew through 𝐂𝐈𝐒 for president. So nothing goes for nothing. First of all, the governor is eminently qualified to aspire to be president of Nigeria or to become the president of Nigeria. It is well within his right. If GBOLABO, you are also qualified to run for the office of the president. After all, the Tanzanian president is a woman. So, however, you cannot build something on nothing. You need a party to be able to run for office. That is why those that are moving from the PDP, that is the danger they are seeing that is making them to move. Because stuff like this had happened before. It happened to APC in Rivers State in 2019. It happened to PDP in Plateau State in 2023. PDP lost virtually all their national and House of Assembly seats in Plateau State due to this kind of problem. And yet, politicians and political parties, they don't learn. Yes, the Congress may be holding today, or the convention. It's a matter of time. Time is a perfect gentleman. Let's see how it goes. Justice A.L. Akitola yesterday extended the ex parte order. I think the ex parte order will now expire on Monday. So at the end of the day, the court will still have to interpret. See, a lot of people also rely on the Supreme Court judgment that internal affairs of the parties should be sorted out by members of the party. That does not exclude the fact that when a fundamental human rights issue arises, the court cannot still rule. So the issue of Sule Lamido is a fundamental human rights issue. We want to press for his protection to be included in the race. The three guys that went to court for contentions primary congresses in Anambra, South, some part of South, and other part of the Southeast, they were also trying to enforce their fundamental human right, that the proper thing were not done. But like I said earlier, it's a developing issue. Let's keep our fingers crossed
and see whether PDP will finally be buried or PDP has the capacity to bounce back after the purported convention.
All right, Austin, without particular interest in Governor Makinde, it has been like a trend, a norm for political leaders who have served at very highly position in the country to come back to say they are coming in for presidential elections or they want to go to the National Assembly to represent the people. Now, having been a governor for 80 years, do you think they should have any business contesting? Looking at the arrays of ideas, brilliant minds in Nigeria, we have a population, without comparing ourselves with the likes of the United States or London, this is Nigeria, where we have a number of wise individuals at different fields. Shouldn't it be like a political process that is open to everyone, not because you have the war chests or you've been in the corridors of power, then you know what it means to be within the political sphere itself. Disalign others from also having a chance at very critical positions. Should we, for instance, not particularly on 𝐶𝐈𝐒 Makinde, it's been like the norm. Should there be like a law stating that clearly after 80 years of being a governor, do you still need to come up for any seat, a political seat in the country itself, beyond looking at issues about rights here?
That is the level we find ourselves. Unfortunately, so it is within the right of an average individual, once you are qualified under the law, to aspire to political office. Yeah, a lot of other Nigerians can qualify. Power is not served a la carte. But since people are not coming out, do you now stop people that are coming out from exercising their rights? For me personally, what I don't always advise or what I don't like former governors to do is to turn the Senate to a retirement home. If not for the loss of 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐿 of Abia State, we will have had a situation where 3 former governors will have been senator for Abia State. I don't particularly like that, but history is also there to look at some of these things. Joe Biden, for example, spent over 50 years in politics. He spent like 30 years or so in the National Assembly before he eventually became president. Obama too also had that history. If it is about service to the nation, at whatever level you can aspire, but the truth of the matter is that the best of us must be allowed to work for the rest of us. But for 𝐶𝐈𝐒 Makinde, for example, if he wants to become president, of course, your city president was a 2-time former governor. Yar'Adua was a 2-time former governor. Goodluck Jonathan was a 2-time former governor. That is not even the crux of the matter. It's just like when election is coming up, you have politicians digging it into the election, campaigning from one breadth of the country to the other. But when it is time to form the government, you and I will be talking about technocrats. Where are these technocrats when people are campaigning? Where are these technocrats when there are a lot of political permutation, realignment, and investment into political processes? So it's a process. 3 years ago, we organized a citizenship political engagement in the city of Ibadan, creating awareness on how a lot of people can come into the political corridor. First of all, igniting and provoking the conversation. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of people are not always interested in the political process. What most people are most interested in is the governance process. But one will lead to the other, because we have to look at election. J. Robbins said that election is the festival of democracy. So you have to quickly add that if there are no processes of election, there can't be proper democracy, let alone governance structure. So for those of them who are living as governor, want to aspire to higher political office, it is within their rights. It is not their fault that others are not coming out. Like I said earlier, my grasp with a 2-time former governor is making the Senate a habitat. That personally, I think we should do something about it. Aside that, if they are so popular, let them aspire to any political position they feel like after serving their state as governors.
All right, Austin, abductors of 6 defense ministry directors demand 150 million naira ransom. It appears that the war against terrorism, Nigeria is far from winning it, and we've been seeing a number of news. Even as at yesterday, there was a news about 2 pastors' daughters being picked up, and it became another news of why wouldn't the US want to create their own mission in Nigeria. Now, if you look at the war against terrorism, do we have people fanning these embers of discord intentionally, or is something that has grown out of the hands of the government and has become a monster that they can't handle?
Yeah, it's a monster that the government had to look for a way. It is not just a monster, it's like hydra-headed. The government had to look for a way, first of all, political will, deploy all resources to prosecute the war against insecurity. Because security is everything. The law says in section 14 that the reason why a government should exist at all is for security and welfare. So security is the ultimate. So the government had to look for a way to ensure that there is safety within the country. For the defense ministry staff that were adopted, that was unfortunate. It was like a slight on the war against insecurity and the Ministry of Defense itself. So whatever the case may be, the government just had to look for a way. But we also know that there are saboteurs here and there, like you said. Politics is also mixed with it at some point. But I feel even with politics, if we deploy the adequate political will, because the president of the country possesses enormous political will at his disposal, enormous resources to be able to deal with whatever issues. Of course, there are challenges. The armed forces is making efforts. The security operative, they are doing their best. But if we see have cases of kidnapping, how can you imagine that top official of Ministry of Defense were kidnapped in the country? These were people that should map out defense strategy. And I have not even heard the Minister of Defense talk about this. What I heard the minister talked about over the week was Wike and a naval officer that were arguing that the right of the military must be protected. A lot of our people are being killed. This is what we are talking about. We have people, we have insecurity problem. We have people being adopted. As I speak to you now, I know of somebody that is very close to me. They were also adopted. They were shot at around the Okene area last Friday when they were going for a wedding. They sustained gunshot injury. That is on the way to Abuja, for example. So we have all of this, and we have a situation where people that are trained by the Nigerian government to protect us are now posted to empty piece of land that is generating controversy. So it's a big problem. However, I think the government just had to look for a way to deal with the situation. And if the government want to do that, they need to step on toes. That is my view.
Austin, FCDA directors apologized to Wike, flag ex-naval chief's 18-year-old letter for Abuja land. Now, it appears that, Austin, land is a major commodity in Nigeria, and you realize that even government, sitting government, they have a lot of interest when it comes to issue of land. Even lands have been awarded for several years, and the owners are pensioners, now retirees, and been stripped of their property. Like, what is happening with the Circular Road? We still had protest again yesterday. Roads were blocked at Mokola, and it was like a charade where they were protesting until they have Governor 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐀 come and address them and ensure that there's an extension of the corridor road and demolition of more houses. Now, how do we settle the instances of land grabbing, allegations of land grabbing, the interest of our political bigwigs, and what the people are facing presently in the country?
Yeah, thank you once again, GBOLABO. You just, maybe you read my mind, because I was going to accuse you on the Ibadan Circular Road. Why are we not talking about it? Because they said that charity begin at home. If we are talking about a parcel of land in Abuja, we should talk about the one that directly affects our people, because more and more people are being displaced by the construction of a circular road. It's a good one that we want to do that. Then later, 500 meter. I also read an account of 1 kilometer, and I was looking at what is happening. If you talk about 1 kilometer, one kilometer right of way, it means that 500 meter on this side and 500 meter on the other side. A lot of property will have to go. But the truth of the matter is that when this circular road, the idea was muted, some people still went ahead from the time of Rashidi Ladoja to continue development on those corridors. That is wrong, because we must also address our people on that. There's a difference between a proposed road and an existing road. But our people, they also did this. For example, in Akobo, my worship center, I happen to be one of the committees on a particular worship center around the Mr. Biggs. We constructed 2 worship centers along that road. You know, we said, let us have adequate setback. Some of the people we're working with, they said, no, we are going to build it. They are going to construct this road. Lo and behold, shortly after erecting our structure, the late Ajimobi said he was going to dualize that road, and there was a problem. And the road had to cut off part of the structure to the extent that when we go for worship, we had to park along the road. So these are associated issues. It's not as if we didn't know. We knew, we saw it coming, but because of the Nigerian factor in us, we still went ahead. So what I would advise 𝐂𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐄𝐑, of course, I read one of his speech. He was becoming emotional. What I want to advise him is that he should engage the people. Engage the people. When people are displaced, no matter what you do for them, the scar, the anger will continue to be in their heart. Relatively, 𝐂𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐑 has enjoyed the goodwill of the people of Oyo State. He should not allow this, because Ajimobi also worked for Oyo State, but just a little token, he had to rubbish all his goodwill. So I'm also advising Governor 𝐂𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐑 not to sacrifice his goodwill on the altar of development. Of course, if there are concessions to be made, make that concession. If there are legitimate people that need to be compensated, let us compensate them. But if you go to various estates, various sites in Ibadan, you see the way we construct houses, the way we put up construction. Some of them are an aberration. Then on the flip side to Abuja, the director in the ministry, FCTA, well, there were a lot of issues, but my worry is that we are not addressing the crux of the matter. It is the personality of Wike, largely, that we are trying to address as far as the issue is concerned. The naval staff approval was given for something else in 2007. That was changed now. There's a difference between allocation and approval for construction. These are simple terms. Up until as we speak now, no document has officially been displayed on that particular piece of land. So that is what we are saying. If you have issues, there's a way you can sort it out. The manner in which Nyesom Wike approached the issue, in my view, was wrong, because the minister was not supposed to descend that low, trying to enforce by himself, or try to the way he was calling the military officer name. That was completely uncalled for. And come to think of it too, if people that work for you as a director or as a CEO, they come to your office and they say that, oh, we were assaulted somewhere, you want to go, maybe because you want to enforce it. The military officer is an emblem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We talk about the armed forces. Wike too is also representing the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And this is a private property. It is not like a military property. The former chief of naval staff or chief of air staff is now a private individual. Even if you were the sitting CDS, chief of defense staff, the property that belongs to you is private. So we must separate it from that. People are making it look as if the FCTA or Wike has issue with the Nigerian military. No, this is a private individual that is trying to use the connection of power to protect his personal interest. All of that, I am sure that the president will have to address some fundamental issue that borders on his cabinet. No doubt, Wike has stepped on a lot of those. Some ministers are not happy with him. If you read comment, if you look at the big people in Nigeria that have released comment statement as far as that issue is concerned, one, you will know where they are coming from. Two, you will know that they are protecting a certain interest. Majority of them, I'm not saying all of them. Some people just express opinion at will, and that is within their right. So we must deal with the fundamental issue. Let the former naval officer, let him also come to a live program and display his property document. Because the lawyer said, oh, we have an approval. Where is the approval? They could not present it. The naval officer said, we have an approval. Where is the approval? They could not display it. So I don't think we need to throw away the baby with the bad water or to give the dog a bad name simply to hang the dog. Where there is no law, there is no offense. There is a fundamental issue. There is something we really have to address, the issue of law and order. There are a lot of properties in Abuja. Imagine some people did not pay tenement rate for 20 years because they believe that, oh, government, they don't care. They have other sources of income. They won't care. So by the time somebody comes to enforce, it's going to be a problem. I remember too in Oyo State, Ajimobi was sealing up premises. I remember too, 𝐂𝐈𝐒 at some point was sealing up premises because people will not pay this due that is accruable to the government. But at some point, the government had to come up with enforcement. There was a day I came back from work. I met a court order, a court notice on my fence. They pasted it on my house. What did I do? I have connections too. I didn't go and bring soldiers to protect my premises. I had to look for a way, okay, where is this thing coming from? And we address it without the media. We address it appropriately. The normal charges and dues that we're supposed to pay, we have to do it. So why is it that those that are highly placed, they must show their power? It is wicked today, it can be another person tomorrow. But we must distinguish between government facility, those in government position, and private and personal properties. That is what we must know.
All right, Austin, because you mentioned documentation, and it appears to be some of the legal things or legal materials that any individual that claims ownership of a land will have to present. Now, we look at the complexity of actually having a C of O in Nigeria, and how much more we talk about even the circular road and the corridor issue that a number of Ibadan residents complain about different communities now coming together, over 100 of them. Now, they are saying from some of the news yesterday, from what our reporters gathered, that some of them were paid like 400,000 naira. We have not verified that. And that is not even enough to even get a land or even a house. And now they are saying if you don't even have a C of O, you can't even claim ownership of the land. And we know how complex it is to get it. Now, Austin, looking at some of this documentation itself and how much more the people are deprived of what was once theirs, how do we address the complexity here of land documentation, looking at the Land Use Act?
Yeah, I advocate for a more seamless process. I think that of Oyo State is very robust now. The time factor is quicker now, and the cost too. I think right from the day of Ajimobi, that has been simplified, and I'm sure 𝐂𝐈𝐒 also worked on it. Before, getting C of O in Oyo State is endless, and across the country too. I think a lot of state government have also worked on that. See, apart from the issue of cost, we have this nonchalant attitude as a people. When you acquire a piece of land, the next thing that comes to an average person is to quickly build the house. Go to some areas in Ibadan. Look at the way people are building. I have gone to an area before. Somebody's bedroom is on the main road. Somebody's bedroom. And the government may not do anything about it today. A government may come 20 years after when the person will have retired. And when they say that we want to construct this road, the property will be demolished, no approval, no red copy survey. All of this, they are factors. As we talk to the government, as we criticize the government, let's also talk to our people. Because whether we like it or not, if we abuse 𝐂𝐈𝐒 from now till tomorrow, okay, GBOLABO, those that do not have C of O, those that do not have valid document, that their property has been demolished, what do you expect the government to do? Except the government just decide to be compassionate. That's the truth. Because you see people building under high tension. You see people building under flood-prone area that the government have designated. I just told you an example of my worship center, a renowned worship center in Nigeria. We wanted to do the right thing. Some people said, no, we should not do the right thing. We have to do it the wrong way. And at the end of the day, a government came that decided to push everything aside, and we started shouting. I'm not saying that this is all the scenario, but if this is the case, let our people, let them know that when you are trying to erect a structure, get your valid proof of document, go to the registry, get all the necessary documentation and approval and do a proper setback. Setback is very, very important because look at the number of people that are protesting. Some of them are retirees. The energy is no longer there. There are some people, if you demolish their house, they will never recover from it forever. Forever. You have destroyed their livelihood. That is why we need to do the right thing. Why government also do the right thing. This setback has been laid out before now. Of course, they continue to harmonize, they continue to extend it. The government should take care of those areas. But if you know that circular road is being proposed and this is a setback, why do you encroach and build on unauthorized areas? I'm not saying this is is applicable to all cases, but we must also talk to ourselves.
Okay, we have to go on this break right about now. When we do come back, we'll be having more on the Break It On Papers Review. Please do stay with us.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
I'm in love, Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop and is it to stir? Dishes come alive with so much taste. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix, stand up pouch.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand up pouch.
So much in love.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggie Star in double cubes. Double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggie Star double cubes. Made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggie brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggie double cubes today. Me and Maggie, so good together.
New Lafarge water shield cement now confirm. Number one waterproof cement for Niger. Yeah. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number one waterproof cement for Niger. Yeah. New Lafarge water shield cement number one. Number one. New Lafarge waterproof cement now confirm. One time. Put full stop for water wahala. With Lafarge water shield cement, water go collect. If water jam house, Lafarge na confirm. Cement, new Lafarge water shield cement na confirm.
Put full stop for water wahala.
Is it okay to make fun of our tooth gap? Let's have a talk. Colgate makes your teeth so strong. Stop cover your mouth. Not to do yanga with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate. Zero cavities and fresh breath. If you use a Colgate paste. Not to do yanga with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate.
Colgate, #1 oral care brand in the world.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Yes.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids Milo 3-in-1, milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
Cleanliness is the first step to a healthy life. Calling on all listeners, fans and supporters of 32 FM 94.9 to join us at the popular Bodija Market. Come 22nd of this month for her third edition of the Keep Ibadan Clean campaign. 32 FM in partnership with the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Health and Oyo Ruwasa will be mopping the Bodija Market clean from 7 a.m. on the 22nd of this month. Join us to ensure a clean environment, healthy and dignified living. Don't forget, a clean environment begins with you. Clean Ibadan is proudly sponsored by Aspira and Hypo.
I'm in love, Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop and is it to stir? Dishes come alive with so much taste. Sonia tomato mix.
tomato mix in a new standard pouch.
Shh! Did you hear that? Wow! It's time for Laughter Santa!
It's that magical time of the year again. And 32FM 94.9, in partnership with Ride Ross, is bringing laughter, joy, and sparkle to Ibadan. Get ready for Laughter Santa 2025. From December 1st to 24th, the Palms Mall Ring Road becomes the merriest place in town. There will be games, 24 days of treasure hunt, beautiful gifts from Santa, arts and crafts, dance competitions, slides, rides, and endless fun for every child. And guess what? All the Christmas magic costs just 7,000 naira per child. And from 4:15 to 5 p.m. every weekday and 5:30 to 6 p.m. every weekend, you stand a chance to win awesome gifts on the Laughter Santa Radio Raffle. So come and make memories that jingle all the way with your little ones. Remember, Santa's laughter starts December 1st. For sponsorship and other inquiry, call Auntie Sumbo on 0913-246-1006 or Bolanle on 0810-067-2518. And to get your tickets, you can visit 32FM 94.9 at 4th floor Cocoa House, Dubai, Ibadan. Laughter Santa 2025. See you there.
Mr. Teacher, please, what happens when children come to school? How is it that they leave home very neat and return looking so different?
Non-stop action, ma. All the learning and sports burn energy. So those sweat stains, dirty uniforms and shoes, they show that your kid has been very active.
Now, wow.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo.
32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still on to break it down papers if you're here on your Laughter Dive 32 FM 94.9, and of course still taking headlines. Before we open the phone lines, Austin, I want us to also quickly touch on this one. And it says trial of EFCC officer arraigned for stealing 22 million naira from exhibit to begin December. Now, this appears to be a case ongoing in court, but the fact is that a number of people have complained about the complicity of some of our anti-graft agents in terms of officials too being complacent or also becoming so open to corruption as well. When we have instances like this, do you think the issue of war against corruption will be won if you have officials too that are not upright within our anti-graft agencies?
Yeah, I think when Olukoyede, the current EFCC chairman, came, he had to look for a way to flush some people out of the EFCC. Some people were also put on trial, especially staff of the EFCC, because some of them practically enrich themselves with evidence. Material evidence are converted to personal use. You know that we were talking about land in Ibadan, we're talking about land in Abuja. One of the reasons why people don't want to do the right thing is that when you use the office to take the land away from people, the land they acquire illegally, what happens to the land? So a lot of people are afraid that you might give them, allocate them to your cronies, you may allocate them to persons of interest. So it boils down on corruption, a situation where EFCC will seize exhibits from suspects. These exhibits are supposed to mainly be warehoused. If it is financial crimes, it has to be warehoused. If it is cash, it has to be warehoused in CBN or a designated place within the EFCC. But you see officials enriching themselves. We investigated the case in Ibadan, where EFCC officials, they took recovery from Yahoo boys, the internet fraudster. EFCC officials, they were buying Venza 800,000 from Yahoo boys. They were paying 800,000 GBOLABO to buy Venza. This was supposed to be like material evidence when the case gets to court. So it's a whole lot of problem. I think we really need to do more. The system must have a way of sanitizing itself. If the system can sanitize and purge itself, of course, the public confidence will be reposed. So for me, it's a welcome development. Let them do more. There are a lot of EFCC EFCC officials that when they go for investigation or suspect, they will simply be settled and the case will be left to die down. Something urgent has to be done.
All right, on that note, we have to open the phone lines right about now. The numbers to call in are 070-55,949 or 080-97949 plus 234-90-62,000. Those are the numbers to call 949. And of course, you are live on Facebook in case you want to drop your comment. That's 32FM 949 Fenya with double E's on Facebook. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. This is John O'Reilly. I'm calling from my group. On the issue of the land issue in Abuja between the UK and the private number of people. Actually, as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to even bother about what even happened about the land, because Abuja land to me is the powerful people are the ones that are sharing the Abuja land, and there is between the powerful people that they were longer ahead. So what concerns me about it? The only thing that concerns citizens that the citizens will always talking about is the address of the minister. What did transpire between the minister and the Yerima? That's what will concern the people most, because they know that Abuja land is not for the ordinary Nigeria. What they do to ordinary Nigeria, that ordinary Nigeria will even stretch its muscle to even talk about it. That is why the body language and the attitude of the minister that is so concerned the citizen. That's what I want. And the issue of the land to the government, all the government, all the government from state and the federal government, the way they were dealing with the people about the land now, it's called for their attention. It's like they were not shifting their eyes to the land now. They were even turned to the land grabber as far as I'm concerned, allegedly. Because the way they were doing with the people, immediately they got with the power, they will just be looking for the land that they will acquire. At the end of the day, even the winter of this world that he's talking about, after he leave that office, you will see so many illegal things that will come up about the land.
All right.
That's why it always happens to them. I don't want to support anyone. They always back on illegal things. But after they leave that office, their secret will open. The same thing that happened in circular routine. After you collected the land, you call the circular, you call the corridor, you give it corridor, you sell it out to the people, and you call it illegal for the people. What's the meaning of that? If the government fails to develop the society, that's how it's for you continue to do. Government is there to develop the society. And if you don't develop it, that's how we continue to do. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, John. There. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, GBOLABO.
Good morning, sir.
Austin, good morning. This is Shem from Oyo.
Okay.
People are blaming me because of the problem with PDP. Technically, this lava man was there. He should be punished. It's illegally. You acquire a land for a purpose. You are not doing another thing. The director was sent there. They beat up the director. Wike went there. See the man calling policeman, a bloody policeman. Who is he? We are using our money to train him. Because Wike has stepped on many toes. See what the Minister for Defense was saying, that they want Wike not to go there. Because of the acquire land, because they don't pay for it. Now about circular road. There is a gazette that said 150 left, 150 right. In 2018, the last government in November 2018 gave a gazette 500. They said proposed land 500 left, 500 right. In 2021, this government, former secretary of the state, signed a gazette that acquired 500 left, 500 now. The governor have an encounter with these people. He said anywhere where they have developed under 500, we not demolish. They have started demolishing. One, these people don't have CFO, but they have red copy everything. Paying 400,000 on 4-bedroom flat. Can you use 400,000 to acquire to rent a 4-bedroom flat? The last caller gave them a name. I don't want to do that. But governor is a people governor. You should go and look for this solution. 400,000 is too little for 4-bedroom flats. Now, they said the corridor are allocated to some people. Who are these people that are being allocated? Who has said all the roads? But I don't blame the government. I blame the people, the head of Ibadan. They did not say anything. Agodi Garden is there. Library is there. Election lawyer, I know that our past settlements. They did not say a single word. I don't blame the government. I blame the head of Ibadan that they compromise the trust we people of your state have on them. Have a nice time. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much, Shagun. Of course, it's still the Break It On Papers Review, and we're taking some of the calls to call in 070-55000-949 or 080-97000-949. We are also live on our socials, 32FM 949. Yes, good morning. Please go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Ade from US.
All right.
I say good morning to Augustine too. You see, on this land issue of 15, Nigeria is a place whereby people know the truth, but they won't say it. But what we gain, you are developing land, you are developing the city, and people are dying. And Nigeria know this fact. UK is demolishing everywhere, and Abuja they say is beautifying it. Every beautify and Abuja enough when Abuja was there. Look at what is going on in the state now too. Market that people used to like developing. You see, where I'm going that they are allocating this land to their relatives, to their friends. You only see when they get to power, they use the opportunity to allocate land to their friends. You can imagine GBOLABO. So they are not developing anything. Let them leave development. Let them allow people to eat alone. Let them allow people to eat and leave the developing of the land alone. These people are too corrupt, GBOLABO. These are the best of today.
All right, thank you so much, Ade from UI there. The numbers again are 070-55000-949 or 080-97000-949 plus 234-90-62949. Those are the numbers to call in. On our socials, we have here on Facebook, we have Umma Olebara. That's Dr. Mrs. Umma Olebara from Awari. Says man is his worst enemy and usually a victim of his own philosophy. And we have to look at EME here. Good morning. No doubt the crisis rocking the main opposition party, PDP, is not ending anytime soon, as Wike Group is not in support of their forthcoming national convention, which is already happening. And we have Honorable Kinkumi Camille Dakola says if PDP go ahead with the convention without them present of INEC representatives, at the end it will be a fruitless effort. Okay, Kedron Babatinde says, how many of the highly placed in the society have a common driver license? That's a question mark. Let us do the needful. And we have Sulaiman Sharif Ibadan. PDP convention is a time to rebirth, is for rebirth and rebuilding the party. Truly, some want PDP to die, but faithful and committed PDP must hold their convention. All right, we have Olabo Desama Family says, Minister Wike's altercation and Yerima, and he's giving details and what Wike said. And quickly, I'm touching on Miriam Yetunde too says, good morning to you. Reports indicates that the Circular Road project was initiated by Babaladoja and late Governor Jimobi also attempted to work on it. It's commendable that Governor Seyi Makinde continued the project since it's centered on bringing development. All right, we have all of those from our socials. We have to leave the studios right about now. We must say a big thank you to Austin Adumu for doing this with us. And those who call in and those still calling in, we say a big thank you. That's the much we can take on the Break It On Papers Review. And of course, Baba Fendo is up next.
Thank you, GBOLABO.
He must go. Bye for now. Thank you, Austin.
The views and opinions expressed in this program